Populate Technical Services, your computers and electronics concierge service.
Welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Tube Screamer clone kit that we are putting together. Now this is a pre-production kit. There is everything needed in this bag, including the instructions on how to build this, with the exception of the enclosure, which you would include, include yourself. This is just a Hammond 1590 BB enclosure. Just a real simple stomp box enclosure. Now, I don't have the finished production, pre-production product available. I did mention in the prequel video that I had it. In fact, you saw it sitting over to the side. I mentioned there was no knobs on it. Well, I have given it to my friend Dave, who actually gave me the kit to start, building. In fact, I mentioned that there's a large box of parts here in my room that belong to him. He's actually built a couple of these. He has one at his house already. I have the second, pre-production model as mentioned. Then there's another two that he started. Like I said, these are pre-production models, so a lot of them are like on an experimental basis. But basically, what the Tube Screamer is, it's a distortion pedal that was originally released by Ibanez, I believe. And this is obviously just a clone of it. There's many different versions of it. Synthrotech has one that I know of. Just to name one company in particular, there's probably dozens. But this was actually just a board that was available separately on its own. I don't remember the manufacturer of it, honestly. David was the one who picked it up. What he also did was go out and buy all the parts to build these in bulk in the hopes to build a few of these and sell them as completed units. Like I said, again, these are pre-production models. We do anticipate on doing that. We're also going to bag them up, as you see here, and have them available in a kit form. They may or may not include these little plastic boxes. We may get bigger bags and have them include 2 boxes. Like, here's another one just to put all the hardware pieces in. But yeah, this is everything you need. The stomp pedal, the 3 potentiometers, the 2 jacks, a 9-volt battery terminal, and some wire. There's a IC in here, a couple transistors, a DC jack, all the capacitors and resistors needed. This is going to be a build video. However, it's not going to be one of my typical build videos where I show you everything piece by piece by piece and how to do it. This is going to be a real quick, easy video. So we're going to start by opening this up. You can see here, this is the parts list. Now, I started this already. All these check-marked items are in the bag. I just included the IC, which hasn't been checked off yet. But this is what I use to build the other kits. I already have 4 or 5 of these bagged up, ready to go without the potentiometers and the hardware pieces. It's just, whatever you need to build the circuit board itself. And then this, right now, would be, we have to get a couple extra of these pieces at the time of this video. At some point, there will be a link in the description or, pricing on this. I don't have any tentative pricing or on anything. This is just a real, quick informative video. But you can see the price list we provide gives you the value of each component, also what type it is, where it belongs on the circuit board, as well as the code that's on the actual unit, which is nice. We even give you the resistor color code combination, which is real helpful. And the other part of this is the outboard design of where the wires hook up for each of the pots. The version that's included with the production models will be a color version of this, obviously printed on the back side of it. But this is just this is for the one I'm building for the video. And then, like I said, we have the 3 pots. We have the 2 input and output terminals. That's the stomp box switch. And then everything else is in here. So like I said, there's the 9-volt snap. This is the length of wire. The PCB. You can see this is very well marked. Real easy to hook up. You just you know, no instructions needed. Basically, just solder everything in, following the code. And here's all the pieces. Comes with a orange LED. There's an LED bezel in here, which you would screw into the case, or you know, just pop right in. There's also the IC, which is a JRC 4558D chip. There's also an IC socket included with this. And there's that standard DC barrel jack. This will be wired for 9-volt. Center pin is positive, and the ground, you know, the outer rim is negative. And yeah, that's basically all there is to the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little jump cut to all the resistors being installed. That's the first step that I usually do on this. It's 7 10 kilo ohm resistors installed. Now we have 5 1 kilo ohm resistors installed. 3 more resistors installed. We have a 220 ohm, a 2.2 mega ohm, and a 3 kilo ohm. Just soldered in the last 3 resistors, I should say last 4 resistors, 2 of the 510 kilo ohm, 1 of the 51 kilo ohm, and 100 ohm resistor. I'm going to move on to the diodes and then the transistors after that. And then the last component I'm going to install on this board is going to be the IC chip, and then right before I do that, I'm going to do the capacitors. 1N4001 and 3 1N914 diodes were just installed into this board. 3 of them up here, 1 of them over here. Moving on now to the transistors. 2 2N3904 transistors are now installed. Moving on now to the socket for the IC chip, followed by the capacitors. And here's that IC chip. We have 2 electrolytic capacitors, a 47 microfarad 16 volt and a 10 microfarad 50 volt. 2.22 microfarad tantal capacitors. 1 51 picofarad 250 volt ceramic capacitor. You have 5 film capacitors, 1.027 microfarad 100 volt, 1.47 microvolt, 1.1 microfarad, and 2 1 microfarad, all 100 volt. Now we're going to move on to the next step, which is actually going to be drilling out the case for the holes to mount the potentiometers in, and the switch, the DC jack, and then all those components will get wired to this.